So I actually have an honest question about ICE, about the Immigration's Customs Enforcement. What's happening right now with our communities? And this question goes out to those that are illegal immigrants, those are legal immigrants, those are citizens supporting everyone, it seems like, for that matter. But it's like, I actually legitimately have this question. Originally, I thought, oh, I know everything, of course. But then more I look at this, the reaction to ICE, the fights, the brawls, the riots, the throwing of rocks and stone. I mean, it's just everything, cutting off traffic. I want to learn to understand this because here's what I'm looking at, and I'll do a real world scenario right here. So in East Tennessee, 32-year-old, been here for over 2 decades. Okay, came when he was 12, went to middle school and high school here, did all the things. He just got deported, or at least he's in holding right now somewhere. We really don't know where he is. But I'm looking at it like, all right, I get it. It's sad. The guy's been here for 20 years. But my question is, why hasn't he become a citizen? It's a fair question. That's it. It's a simple question. Why? And you say, well, it's not a simple answer. Okay, well, why? Because this guy's had a job. He's a community organizer. He works for the Allies of Knoxville's Immigrant Neighbors, a kin. All right, but he's been an organizer in Knoxville, Nashville, North Carolina, and rural Alabama, which I'm like, why does rural Alabama need immigration helpers? But he goes out there and he helps illegal immigrants to get things that they need in order to survive. And I'm like, well, shouldn't one of those things that he's helping with be citizenship in the country that they're living in? Is it a fair question? I mean, if you're helping others, why don't you help yourself? And the old adage, cobbler's sons always go without shoes. Okay, if you're young, look that up. But at the same time, like, why, if he's in charge of helping people, why isn't he helping people? Why isn't he helping himself? That's kind of my question. And ICE officials said that this guy had prior convictions for driving under the influence of possession of methamphetamine. All right. By the way, that's paragraph 10 out of 14 paragraphs off the report that I'm reading. So after paragraph 10, after it paints him a great picture of how he's a beloved member of every community he has ever been a part of, and he does all the things for the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition, all these great things talking about how important he is and everything else. Paragraph 10, by the way, he has a bunch of convictions for driving under the influence and possession. Okay, so he's already that. And it comes out, Gloria Johnson, she's somewhere in the legislature, not even worth talking, but he is not a violent criminal. I'm sick of the government disappearing our community members violently and without due process. Well, he's not a violent criminal. I would ask the Mothers Against Drunk Driving about that. You'd probably get their report on there. Did you notice that accident that happened with that big rig in Ontario, California that wiped out a bunch of people too because the guy was illegal and under the influence of drugs? Yeah. Remember the other day too, all the other illegals that are making illegal U-turns in the middle of the interstate, killing people. Yeah, and there's enough people from drunk driving. And you're going to complain about gun control and all that. Well, yeah, DUIs can probably have a lot more deaths from that decision anyway to drive drunk. So he's not necessarily a non-violent criminal. He just hasn't hurt anybody supposedly yet, but who's he selling methamphetamines to as well? But I look at it like disappearing our community member. Not disappearing. You know exactly where he's at. And also violently and without due process. It wasn't violent. It picked him up. That was it. Thankfully, he submitted. So fine. But I look at this, and it says Republicans have all three branches of the government. Do the real work of writing policy that works for Americans. Sad truth. He's not an American. And I think that was his choice about not being American. You moved here 20 years ago. You don't want to be American. So the government is doing the job for Americans. Wake up there. Like it or hate it. Put it in the comments what you think. An honest question. But supposedly at the time I read this, 580 supporters signed the petition. Well, if those 580 supporters had only helped him get his citizenship, yeah, maybe kept him off the road and away from drugs. Yeah, that would be a good thing too. So my opinion overall is the best way to help the poor is to help them not being poor anymore. And the best way to deal with ICE and illegal immigrants and the possibility of being disappeared violently is to become a citizen. Shouldn't that be the goal of everybody that physically lives within the confines of sea to shining sea? Think about it. Where are you at with this thing? But help me to understand how you can live here for 20 years, go to school, have multiple jobs in multiple states, and still not be a citizen. Help me to understand that. Help the world to understand that. Because otherwise, I don't know what the complaints are for. I don't know how the animosity is so huge to have people just allowing themselves to get arrested for protesting an arrest. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, put it in the comments. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Just educate me as I do my best to educate you and find the truth between lines.
Between the lines.